the question that changes everything. You think you know how your cat sees you. You feed it, you care for it, you share your space every single day. That should mean something. That should place you somewhere important in its world. But here is the truth: most people never question. Your cat has already decided exactly what you are to it, and you were never informed of that decision. Studies of feline behavior, including observations conducted by researchers in animal cognition and domestic environments, reveal something that challenges the way people see their own pets. Cats do not automatically assign emotional roles the way humans do. They do not assume you are their protector just because you provide food. They do not assume you are their family just because you live together. They observe, they test, they evaluate, and then they decide. Specialists in animal behavior explain that cats build their perception of you through patterns. Your movements, your tone of voice, your consistency, your respect for their space, and even your emotional stability. All of this forms a silent profile in their mind. And once that profile is formed, your cat interacts with you based on that conclusion, not based on what you believe your relationship is. But there is one moment when that internal judgment becomes visible, even though most people never recognize it. It is not when your cat looks at you. It is not when it follows you around the house. It is not even when it allows you to touch it. The real answer appears in a moment that seems ordinary, almost invisible. The moment your cat decides where to sleep. Experts who study feline survival instincts explain that sleep is the most vulnerable state for a cat. In natural conditions, choosing the wrong place to sleep can mean not waking up. There is no defense, no reaction time, no second chance. Only instinct, deciding what is safe enough to completely let go. So when your cat lies down, relaxes its body, and closes its eyes, it is doing something far more significant than resting. It is making a decision based on trust, on safety, on how it perceives the environment around it, and inside that environment, you are one of the most important variables. That place it chooses is not random. It is not about comfort alone. It is a message shaped by instinct, reinforced by experience, and revealed without words. A precise answer to a question you never realized your cat was constantly asking. Who are you to me? And what you are about to understand will change the way you interpret every behavior, every movement, and every silent choice your cat makes from this moment forward. The invisible truth about how cats sleep. You see your cat sleeping and you think it is just resting, recovering energy, passing time. But what you are actually looking at is one of the most revealing behaviors a cat can show. Sleep, for a cat, is not a casual act. It is a calculated decision, guided by instinct and shaped by everything it has learned about its environment and about you. Researchers who study feline behavior explain that cats are both predators and prey. This dual nature creates a constant internal tension. Even in a safe home, that instinct does not disappear. It stays active, evaluating risk, scanning the environment, measuring safety in ways humans do not perceive. And because of that, the moment a cat allows itself to enter deep sleep is not just physical rest. It is a moment of surrender. Specialists in animal behavior observe that cats only reach deeper stages of sleep in places where they feel fully secure. Light sleep can happen almost anywhere. A quick nap on a chair, a short rest by a window. But deep, vulnerable sleep only happens when the cat's mind has decided that nothing around it represents a threat. That includes sounds, movements, smells, and most importantly, the people in that space. This is where most people misunderstand their cats. They assume that because the cat is in the same house, it feels safe everywhere. But that is not how a cat thinks. Safety is not global. It is specific. It is precise. A cat can feel safe in one corner of a room and alert in another. It can trust one person and remain cautious around another, even in the same environment. Studies conducted in domestic settings show that cats create mental maps of safety. These maps are constantly updated based on experience. A sudden noise, an unpredictable movement, or an unwanted interaction can shift that map instantly. On the other hand, consistency, calm behavior, and respect reinforce certain areas and certain individuals as safe zones. And this is where your role becomes undeniable. When your cat chooses a place to sleep, it is not just choosing a location. It is choosing a level of exposure. It is deciding how much of its defenses it can lower in that moment. If it stretches out, exposes its body, relaxes its muscles, it is signaling that it does not expect danger. If it curls tightly, keeps its body protected, or positions itself near an escape route, it is telling a different story. Experts explain that this decision is not emotional in the way humans interpret emotion. It is instinctive, but deeply influenced by emotional memory. Your presence, your behavior, your patterns all feed into that decision, even if you never notice it happening. So every time your cat chooses where to sleep, it is answering a silent question. How safe am I here? And more importantly, how safe am I with you? And once you understand that, the next step becomes impossible to ignore. Because the place your cat chooses is not just about safety. It is about identity. It reveals the role you occupy in its world, whether you are aware of it or not. The secret map, what each sleeping spot reveals about you. Now that you understand that sleep is a decision based on trust, something deeper begins to emerge. Your cat is not just choosing where to sleep. It is choosing how to position itself in relation to you. And that choice reveals the role you occupy in its world with a precision most people never imagine. Researchers who observe feline social behavior explain that cats assign meaning to proximity, height, contact, and distance. These are not random preferences. They are instinctive signals that define hierarchy, safety, and emotional connection. So when your cat settles in a specific place near you, it is expressing a conclusion it has already reached about who you are. When your cat sleeps on top of you, whether on your chest, your stomach, or your lap, something very specific is happening. Specialists in animal behavior explain that this level of contact only occurs when the cat perceives absolute safety. Your body becomes more than a surface. It becomes a living territory. Your breathing, your heartbeat, your warmth all send signals of stability. In that moment, you are not just present, you are the safest place it knows. When your cat chooses to sleep beside you, without fully touching you, the message shifts slightly. Studies of domestic cats show that this behavior reflects trust combined with independence. Your cat recognizes you as safe, but it also maintains its autonomy. It is close enough to benefit from your presence, but distant enough to retain control. In this position, you are seen as a reliable companion, not as a necessity. When your cat sleeps near your feet, the decision becomes more strategic. Experts explain that this position allows quick escape while maintaining proximity. It suggests that your cat wants to stay connected to you, but still prioritizes awareness of the environment. You are part of its safe zone, but not the center of it. There is trust, but it is measured, balanced with instinct. When your cat sleeps on your pillow or near your head, another layer appears. Researchers have observed that cats are strongly guided by scent. Your head carries one of the most concentrated sources of your natural smell. By choosing this area, your cat is not just seeking comfort, it is immersing itself in your identity. It blends your scent into its sense of territory. In that moment, you are not just safe. You are part of what defines its world. When your cat sleeps on your clothes or objects that belong to you, especially when you are not there, the meaning becomes even more revealing. Studies in animal bonding show that cats use scent as a substitute for presence. Your absence does not remove you from its environment. Your smell remains, and your cat actively seeks it. This is not dependency in a human sense. It is recognition. You are registered as a source of familiarity and emotional stability. And then there is the situation most people avoid thinking about. When your cat chooses to sleep far from you, hidden or in places where it cannot be easily reached. Specialists explain that this behavior is linked to caution, sometimes to lack of trust, and sometimes to past experiences. It does not mean your cat rejects you. It means that, in its internal map, you are not yet fully associated with complete safety. Each of these choices forms a silent language. No words, no signals you were taught to read. Yet everything is being communicated with clarity. And once you see this pattern, a new question emerges, one that changes everything again. What happens when that pattern suddenly changes? The detail that almost no one notices. Most people focus on where the cat sleeps and stop there. They see the spot, they interpret the moment, and they believe they understand what it means. But specialists in feline behavior warn that this is only part of the truth. The real answer is not in the place alone. It is in the pattern. Researchers who study domestic cats over long periods observed something subtle but powerful. Cats do not repeat behaviors randomly. When a cat chooses the same place to sleep over and over again, it is reinforcing a decision. It is confirming that this location and everything associated with it continues to be safe. That includes you, your presence, your energy, your consistency. But when that pattern changes, something deeper is happening. A cat that used to sleep on you and suddenly moves away is not making a casual adjustment. Experts explain that cats constantly reassess their environment. They do not rely on past conclusions. They update their perception based on new experiences. A change in your routine, your behavior, your tone, even your emotional state can alter how your cat interprets you without you realizing it. Studies in animal perception suggest that cats are highly sensitive to subtle changes. They detect tension in movement, unpredictability in actions, inconsistency in daily patterns. What feels insignificant to you can be meaningful to them. And when that internal map of safety shifts, the first visible sign often appears in where they choose to sleep. If your cat moves closer to you over time, that is not coincidence. It is trust being built layer by layer. If it begins to sleep more openly, exposing its body, relaxing more deeply, that is a sign that its perception of safety has expanded. You have become more than just part of the environment. You have become a stable reference within it. But if your cat starts to distance itself, choosing hidden places, staying alert even while resting, the message is just as clear. Something has changed in the way it evaluates safety, and that change is not random. It is a response. Specialists explain that this constant reevaluation is part of a survival mechanism. In the wild, assuming that yesterday's safety guarantees today's survival can be fatal. So cats evolved to question, to reassess, to adjust. And that instinct remains active, even in the calmest home. This means that your cat is not fixed in how it sees you. It is observing, updating, redefining your role continuously. Every interaction, every movement, every moment you share contributes to that internal calculation. And this leads to a realization most people never reach. If your cat can change how it sees you, then your position in its world is not permanent. It can be strengthened, weakened, or transformed. Which raises a question that few people ask, but everyone should. Can you influence how your cat sees you? How to make your cat see you as a safe haven? If your cat is constantly evaluating you, then every action you take becomes part of a silent negotiation. You are either reinforcing safety or creating uncertainty. There is no neutral ground, and this is where most people fail without realizing it. Studies of feline behavior, including observations from specialists in animal-human interaction, show that trust in cats is not built through affection alone. It is built through predictability. A cat does not relax because you love it. It relaxes because it understands you. Experts explain that cats feel safe when the world around them follows patterns they can anticipate. When your movements are consistent, your reactions are calm, and your presence does not create sudden pressure. Your cat begins to categorize you as stable. And stability, in the mind of a cat, is the foundation of safety. This means that one of the most powerful things you can do is also the simplest. Move with intention. Avoid abrupt actions. Do not invade your cat's space when it has not invited you. Respect, in feline language, is distance before contact. Researchers observe that cats are more likely to approach humans who do not force interaction. When you allow the cat to initiate, you give it control, and control reduces perceived threat. Over time, this builds a form of trust that is deeper than forced affection. Another critical factor is emotional consistency. Specialists explain that cats are extremely sensitive to tone, rhythm, and energy. A calm voice, steady behavior, and predictable routines signal safety. Sudden changes, loud reactions, or inconsistency create doubt. And doubt keeps the cat alert, even in environments that appear safe. Routine also plays a central role. Feeding at consistent times, maintaining familiar patterns, and creating stable daily rhythms help your cat map its environment with confidence. Studies show that when cats can predict what happens next, their stress levels decrease. and their willingness to relax increases. And then there is something most people overlook. Your presence should not feel like pressure. It should feel like absence of threat. That is a subtle but powerful difference. When your cat can exist near you without being touched, without being interrupted, without being controlled, it begins to associate you with peace. Experts summarize this in a simple idea. Trust for a cat is not something you demand. It is something you earn by becoming predictable, calm, and safe to be around. And when that trust is established, something changes. Your cat no longer chooses places to sleep based only on the environment. It begins to choose based on you, which leads to the final realization, the one that reframes everything you have seen until now. The final inversion, what your cat has always known. You started this thinking that your cat simply chooses a place to sleep, a spot on the bed, a corner of the room, a piece of clothing, something small, something ordinary. But now you can see it clearly. That choice was never small, and it was never random. Experts in feline behavior explain that cats do not organize their world around ownership. They organize it around safety, energy, and consistency. You are not automatically important in that system. You become important based on how you behave, how you move, how you exist in their space. And this is the inversion most people never realize. You do not decide your role in your cat's life. Your cat does. Studies that observe long-term relationships between cats and humans show that cats assign roles that can change over time. A person can move from unfamiliar to tolerated, from tolerated to trusted, from trusted to essential. But this shift does not happen because of intention. It happens because of repeated evidence. Every moment your cat observes you, it is collecting that evidence. The way you enter a room, the way you approach, the way you react when it is resting, the way you respect or ignore its boundaries. All of this becomes data in a system that never stops evaluating. And then, without telling you, your cat makes a decision. You are safe or you are not. You are stable or you are unpredictable. You are part of its secure world, or just another element inside it. And that decision is revealed in the quietest moment of all, when your cat chooses where to sleep. If it chooses you, if it places its body on yours, if it lowers its defenses in your presence, it is not just seeking comfort. It is declaring something deeper. You are not just in its environment. You are part of what makes that environment safe. If it stays close but not fully connected, it is telling you that trust exists, but independence still leads. If it stays distant, hidden, or alert, it is not rejecting you. It is showing you that its instinct is still asking questions you have not fully answered. Specialists explain that this is not about love in the human sense. It is about trust built through consistency. And trust, once formed, becomes something far more powerful than affection. It becomes certainty. So the next time your cat lies down to sleep, do not just look at where it is. Look at what it is telling you. Because you never chose where your cat sleeps. It chose who you are. And tonight, without a single sound, it will answer that question again.